about this morning on our show.
Welcome to Morning Minutes with myself, Michael Burgio, and Mark Novak. And this morning we're talking about the two blades. There's always sort of two sides to a story. There's two blades. There's a reaction and an irrational, whatever you call it. And the two blades and the two sides we're referring to this morning with what we're going through at the moment is the health side, but also the economy side. And hearing that at the moment going, if the virus doesn't kill you, the economy will. So
I don't think people realize how serious it is just because they've got money in the bank and they can write.
Sorry, just it connected to Facebook, so the audio doubled. Go.
Just because they've got money in the bank that they can say, why don't you just lock out the country and then everyone locks out and get rid of the virus? People are completely missing the bloody point. People are completely missing the point. Corona has two edges. One is a health one, killing people. Two is an economic one, killing people. Right? You kill the economy, you kill people. So people have got to realise that our Prime Minister has the information to make the decisions for the public, and they've got to respect it.
Yes.
They've got, like, these guys have so much information to and so many people to consider. The best we can do as a community is listen to what they're saying. If they're saying lock yourself up at home, lock yourself up at home. If they're saying go to work, go to work. They know what's best for us. We've got to trust these guys.
Yeah, and they haven't said go home and it's a vacation. It's work from home. I think a lot of people are hearing what they want to hear. It's not a 2-week vacation if you're in isolation. It's basically a work from home.
Look, if you're going home and you're in your bloody pajamas or your board shorts every day and you're normally in a suit and you're going for a walk in a park at 11 o'clock and then at 2 o'clock to walk your dog, it's completely counterproductive. We've got 30 to 40% of the workforce that's going to be unproductive shortly. If not, they're already unproductive. We've got to make up the people who are working. We've got to make up for the people that are not productive at the moment. We've got to work harder. And
it hasn't just been the last 2 weeks. It's probably been the last 4 months. We've had Christmas, which a lot of people shut off in November, December. Then we had the floods.
Christmas costs us money as an economy, and it puts us behind. Thank God we've got Christmas because mentally we're better for it. But you're right. That's one wedge that's opened us up financially.
And then we had the floods, the fires. It's just sort of, this is probably
second wedge, third wedge, and now
the virus, the fourth. What's it? The fourth?
Now, I don't think there is another country that's gone through as much that what we've gone through financially or economically than what it is nuts. And now to be suffering from this, we've got to follow this. I've got to say, I know the government's not fucking shouldn't swear. I know the government's not perfect, but God, we've got to move together and listen to what they're saying and do what they're saying. If they are saying no open houses for real estate, bang, no open houses. If they're saying distance yourself, bang, we distance ourselves.
I think what you said there, or we're leaning towards, where if you wear a suit at work, wear it at home, keep that routine. I think with a lot of people, when your routine goes, your productivity goes, you're out of whack. So if you train at 5 a.m., still train at 5 a.m., not at midday, because that just throws you out of whack. Try and best keep your routine because it's...
Stay productive, guys. Stay productive.
Yes, and keep that routine, because if you go 2 or 3, 4 days without doing that routine, like out of that routine, then you lose that habit. And that's just counterintuitive because you don't know if this is going to go for a week, a month, a few days, could be the end. So when you get back into your normal routine, you want to hit the ground running. You don't want to lose momentum. If anything, a lot of people always throw the joke that they could be more productive if they were isolated. Well, here's your chance to prove it.
Well, I reckon the majority of people don't know how to be productive. They've had no practice to be productive in a home environment. If they're working from home, you need to practice. You need to come up with systems to make sure you're productive. Guys, I'll say it again. If the corona doesn't get us, the economy will. We've got to be productive in what we're doing every day. We've got to be highly respectful of corona, distancing, government's wishes with health. We've got to be highly respectful with productivity and government's wishes with productivity. And people that are Muppets out there saying we should just lock ourselves out, ourselves out. Well, guess what? If we could, we would. And that's the government looking at all of the markers in the economy, looking at all the markers in the health system with the most professional and experienced people in the country and making these decisions. Like, hell, that's good enough for me. That is good enough for me.
Yeah, 100%. And like you said, just because some people may have a couple of weeks saved and they can afford to be locked out and they're treating it like a vacation, that's not for everybody. There's a lot of people who don't even have their jobs at the moment. And I think they're saying it's going to raise to 10, 11% of unemployment. I believe we normally hover around 2 or 3%. So
look, I had someone say to me the other day they're going to go for a holiday around New South Wales, and like, we can't afford that as an economy, guys. We can't. We've got to be productive. So stay home and do something good for our economy. Do something good for our community to help. Yeah. Even if you've got to go out and work for free, rather than watching Netflix in your board shorts or your pajamas, or going for a walk to walk your dog 3 times a day because you want to stay healthy because you're locked up. We've been locked up in the CBD for our whole bloody lives. It's called work. Yeah. You don't see someone going in the CBD and then going for a walk in the park for an hour and a half every day. It's not the practice. Do you know what I mean? You do your exercise in the morning, you do your exercise in the evening. I get it. You do your exercise because you're locked up, but you've got to lock up and be productive.
Yeah. G'day, Luke, Niagara. Thanks for joining in. Luke, do it together. Mental health. Yeah, we wanted to get Michael on this morning, who wanted us to speak about that this morning, but we couldn't get him in the morning, and I was playing phone tags with him yesterday. So I think we'll touch on that tomorrow. But I think hopefully I'm getting a lot of calls from tenants about rental relief, and I believe the government, they had a meeting last night, Mark, or they're meeting today to see what relief will be out there. I am aware of some banks, Westpac, if you contact them and ask to put your loan on pause, you can. Have you heard the same, Mark?
Yeah, I had a conversation with a landlord yesterday who was just about to switch his loan to one of the 30 banks, not one of the top 4. And I said to him, look, I reckon at the moment, look, I'm not a financial advisor, but I said, just be sticking with the top 4 through this environment may be a good idea. I think the rules, regs, government, and all policies and all that are going to filter through faster to the big 4 banks than the other guys. Yep. And I to answer your question, I think that the big 4 are close to or happy to freezing payments for a period. I think it's a period of 6 months. So, it's at the moment with rents, status quo. Commercial tenants, residential tenants must pay their rent. Yep. At the moment, the government is working on some sort of stimulus and have announced that they're going to have something for us most probably this evening in relation to it. We are a service that the government is talking about. Last night in the Prime Minister's addressing of the country, he did address real estate and open houses. So we're obviously significant enough to be addressed. And to be essential and to keep running. So guys and girls, if you've got to get business done, if you've got to get your property rented because you're moving in with mum and dad, or if you've got to get your property sold because you want to get rid of some debt, you need a real estate agent. And so we need to keep working hard.
Thanks, Nico. He said I can call him. He has I was just reading a name out, Mark, and I can't pronounce it. He goes, nah, it's fine. N-A, perfect. So that's good for future. I hate pronouncing people's names wrong. Andrew Cole, do the banks freeze interest while freezing payments? Not sure, but I think it's good initiative by the banks where you can sort of tell that they're trying to work alongside the government to get through this, because they know just as important. They want customers for life, and if they're retail customers and that failed, well, don't get on the other side of this crisis, you could call it, then they won't have a client. So that their economy position is just as strong as their health position. You can see they've done that without it being mandated by the government. And a lot of the time with those sort of the banks, unless they're forced to do something, they're not doing it. So I think that really stresses what you're saying, Mark, about the economy, where it needs to keep ticking over. And if
people don't realize, Michael, this is war. This is war on two fronts. It's war on a economic front, and it's war on a health front. People have got to fight. People have got to fight, and we've got to fight through it, and we're going to get through it, and but people that are ignoring the economic side of it because they're okay economically and they can afford to be, let's just lock out, because they're only looking at one aspect. They're only looking at the health aspect. Yes. So we're trying to balance this. We're trying to balance this and teeter on the edge of both. And the people that have the best information to make this decision on balancing the health fight and the economic fight are government. And whether you love them or hate them, guys, they're the ones that are in the front and center at the moment. It's completely counterproductive shitting on them. We've got to respect them, and we've got to follow.
All the energy talking shit or studying why they're wrong is just pointless, because you're not in a position to do anything. But all you can control is what you do and what productivity and energy you put back out. If you're instead of focusing on work, you're putting on the energy just to shit on the government and say why they should do other things. Like the school thing, Mark, they've made it very clear, their position.
They've made it clear. And they made it clear.
And every question, every second comment is about the school. It's
very simple. But, people, I'm not a corona expert. And no matter how much I invest in my time today, tomorrow, and next week, I'm not going to be enough of an expert to make a decision on what's being done with schools. Fact.
Yes.
So I'll tell you what I'm an expert in: property. I'm an expert. I'm a real estate agent. I've been doing it for 25, 27 years, whatever it is. Ask me a question in relation to property, corona, and economics, and I'll give you the real estate version answer of that. So in terms of education, corona, and government, just listen to what the guys are telling us. For Christ's sake, you don't have the information because you're a Google doctor.
Very true, very true. So what are the takeouts? Just a few comments reading out. So Andrew asked if the bank freezes interest while the repayments. Luke said only freezes loans. If you only absolutely have to, you can create good habits by paying loans. It's actually a good chance to get ahead if you can freeze it and still pay.
Look, guys, don't put your energy into what ifs. It's going to kill you. We will be told with banks and with interest what's happening in due course, and when we're told, we will vigilantly go for it, and it will be in our best interest. And guess what? We're all in the same boat. Focus on what you know and focus on what you can do to stay productive and to stay and to respect the coronavirus health issues that we've got in place. Do what we know. Stop speculating, stop guessing, stop asking. Listen like bloody in war, in soldiers. Listen to what the general tells us, because the general's got the information at hand to make the right decisions. Because if you don't trust the general, all the soldiers are running in a different direction.
Well, in this case, we are the soldiers. In this case, we are the soldiers. So
absolutely. And the general is the general, like him or not, or like the call he's making or not. He has the information at hand, economically, health-wise, to make a call. He knows more about it because he's dealing with the people at the top of the game in the health system, at the top of the game in the economic system, which is a very big system, and he's making a decision based upon that. You've got to respect that. You've got to. And if you think you're an expert because you live in DY and you've been reading up a lot on the school system lately, and that's why you think this or you think that, come on, guys, seriously. I know this is a time where we've got to respect the guys that are in power. We've got to move together as a community. We've got to stay productive.
Yep, we voted for them. Well, the majority did anyway, so it is what it is.
That's how it works.
So takeouts from today, Mark, is that this has two blades. You've got the economy and you've got the health, both as critical as each other. And we need to follow.
Both has got the ability to kill. The economy has the ability to kill humans, and the corona has the ability to kill humans.
Yep.
People have to realize that. They got to realize it. And every time I hear a comment that's isolated towards corona and not consider it towards the economy, like you're a Muppet. You're a Muppet.
So true. So true. There's so many left-sided comments, just only focus on the left. Stay productive. So if you go and keep your routine, if you train at 5 a.m., keep training at 5 a.m. Don't just go for a leisurely stroll at 12 o'clock because you don't have to go into the office. It's forming bad habits. So
you've never worked from home before.
Yeah.
Just because you've been, the reality is when you're at home, you will do what you're trained to do at home because you've had 20 or 30 years of training at it. You will fall into a pattern. So as much as you may think you're an at-home work warrior, most people are not, because it's not the natural thing that we do. Home is your place of solace, of relaxation. That's your home. Work is a place of productivity, head down, bum up, practicing what you love and do, and that's what you do. So at the moment, it's counterintuitive for the majority of the public to be working from home and to be productive. Fact. It's counterintuitive because home is meant to relax and work is meant to work. Now you're blending the two. It's going to play on your mind. Get a timesheet. Start your timesheet off between 9 o'clock and 5 o'clock and account to yourself like a lawyer or an accountant does every 7 to 11 minutes. What have I done every 7 to 11 minutes to contribute to the community? To contribute to productivity. Now, it would be best if you're practicing what you do. If you can't practice what you do because you're in hospitality, well, find something that's productive that you can do for the community, 8 hours or 10 hours a day at home. Don't sit there watching CNN. Don't sit there watching Netflix. We need you working. We need you productive. That's if you're at home. That's if you're not in isolation. Go and help the community. Go and ask someone if you can work for them for free because you're at home doing nothing. Hey, I noticed you're still open. Can I come and to your work and just do a little bit to help out? Going crazy at home. I was in hospitality. I'm not working anyway. I've got my job coming back in 3 months' time because my hospitality employer said I've got my job in 12 weeks. But the next 12 weeks, I don't want to do nothing. What can I do to contribute to the community?
Yeah, Luke says, great speech, Mark. Australia needs you. And there's little things like if you're working from home, if your leisure time, if your relaxation time is on the couch or in your room, during those work hours, don't go in there. Keep it very simple. Go set up a place in the house that you potentially would go there and have that as your little office. So don't try and mix them because you're exactly right, Mark. You've been formed of when you get home is you sit on the couch. So during that 9 to 5 or whatever your hours are, don't sit on the couch. Form different habits under the same roof.
Look, I walked out of the house at 7 o'clock and my daughter's in her school uniform.
Yeah.
She's not going to school.
Yeah. Keep routine.
She's not going to school. She's in a school uniform. She's not going to school.
Yep.
Like if that's what it takes to psychologically wire yourself to stay productive, and then that's what it takes. Now, that was a measure from her school. Her school said, we're going to be working from home. You must be front and center at 8:15, and you must be in your school uniform at 8:15. Okay, cool.
That's a good initiative. That's good. Anything else you want to add on to this, Mark?
We need to practice to stay productive in this new world. Start practicing, guys. Please realize that whether you like or don't like this government, I personally think they're doing a phenomenal job. I personally think there's little things the hiccups that they've missed out on, but as a whole, I think that they've done a good job. As a whole, I am not speaking to all the head ministers of the state. I'm not speaking to the health ministers and all the ministers to make, and those ministers are talking to the best doctors and the best people. And there's this big chain of command that is making the decisions for me and you.
Yeah. And you got to
respect
and do your
respect
part.
it.
Do your part. If everyone does their part, we'll be a lot better for it on the other side. We don't know when that will be. Could be a day, could be a month. But there will be another side, as we've always learned through any crisis, and that's what we can work towards.
You got it, and it's a double-edged sword, guys. The best we can do is practice what we do productively. keep doing what we do as in society productively, whether that's in the car, whether that's locked up at home, whether that's in the office, whether that's with open houses or no open houses. Keep practicing what we do, not as much as we did before, but more, because there's parts of the economy that have just been killed off that we have to make up for. There's 20, 30, 40% less revenue in the economy, less blood to circulate through the veins. So we need to pump the blood that's not moving harder through the body by doing what we do.
Amen. Yes, preacher. Love it.
We got to, honestly, I'm looking at the news and then I'll go on Facebook and I'm looking at these comments from these guys. I'm going, oh my God, like serious.
You're going to throw your phone against the wall and just like, fuck it.
Oh, I know. And I know today we're meant to be talking about depression and anxiety in this environment in real estate. And we're going to cue that up for tomorrow. And we're going to have Michael Edwards on here. He's the guy that initiated the chat for us to do it. And he's going to give us some more insight around it. So let's look forward to that tomorrow.
Yes. And thanks for all the comments. Luke, anyone wants to obviously Luke does a lot about the mental health, keeping routine. So feel free to jump onto his profile. He's doing lots of content at the moment, keeping things positive and staying on track.
Well, let's bring Luke in as well tomorrow.
Yeah, Luke does a lot of it. So I think Luke...
Oh, well, let's bring Michael Edwards and Luke. We're going to do a Zoom for 4 of us, yeah. And let's talk about mental health. And what's suffering.
Sunday mindset. So I think he'd probably be one of the great people to get on there, and what he does himself, and obviously what he also advises and finds effective. So Luke, if you're good to jump on tomorrow morning, that'll be great. I can send you the Zoom link probably through Facebook or WhatsApp. I'll send that through to you and we'll do that. If you're good with that, sure, I'm with you. Thank you. Let's let it in.
Boom shakalaka.
Boom.
Stay productive, stay productive, stay productive.
Thanks. Cheers. Bye.
See you guys.